Hi, welcome to my next 5-minute tutorial. In the previous video, if you've seen it, we covered the terminology in relationship to high, middle and low, and using the words high section, middle section, low section, where we should use those particular words depending on ourselves as a practitioner or if we have an opponent. Today we're going to be looking at ourselves as a practitioner and looking at the different lines of the body where we finish certain techniques. So if you were to draw lines vertically through your body, in Taekwondo we have a center line which runs right through the center. We have two chest lines which run right through the center of the chest, and we have two shoulder lines which run right down the outsides of the shoulders. So we have a center line, we have two chest lines, and we have two shoulder lines. Now, the terminology for particular blocks or attacks, strikes, and whatever technique that you're going to be asked to do, we have terminology for that in the fact of if it was a front block, then we would do a block to the center line and it would come this way. So it would be classed as an inward block because it's coming towards the center line and finishing on the center line. But the terminology is just front block. The body is full facing and we finish the block on the center line, so it's a front block. If the terminology was an inward block, so if you were asked to do a parallel stance, outer forearm, inward block, we would be full facing and the blocking tool would finish on the chest line. So if we were to just say a front block, the blocking tool finishes on the center line. If we were to say an inward block, the blocking tool finishes on the chest line. We don't have to say an inward front block because there's no such thing as an outward front block. It's just impossible to do an outward front block because you're just too restricted. So you see, we enable us to cut down on the words that we say, the terminology that we say. We just understand what we have and what we don't have. So a front block, the blocking tool finishes on the center line. A front strike, the striking tool finishes on the center line. An inward block, the blocking tool finishes on the chest line. An inward strike, the attacking tool finishes on the chest line. We also have a front side block, which means if our body is full facing, but the block finishes on the shoulder line here, then it's classed as a front side block. If you're a red belt and you're starting to learn your new movements for Warang, or if you're a red belt and above and you know Warang, then you'll be familiar with this particular technique in closed stance and inner forearm high front side block. So the inner forearm finishes level with the shoulder. So let's just have a little recap on that. So we have the center line, runs right through the center of the body. We have two chest lines right through the center of the chest. We have two shoulder lines right down the outsides of the shoulder. If we're being asked to do a front block, we would be full facing and we would finish the block or the blocking tool on the center line. If we would be asked to do an inward block, then the blocking tool would finish on the chest line. If it was a front side block, the blocking tool would finish on the shoulder line. And like I said, we don't need to say inward front block because there is no outward front block. We just say front block, front strike, or inward block, inward strike. Thank you for watching. Our next 5-minute tutorial will be looking at the relationship between an inward and outward technique, or an inside and an outside block. So an inward block, outward block, inside, outside block. Again, that's the relationship between us as a practitioner and whether we have an opponent or not. So join me next time for my next 5-minute tutorial. Thank you.